Okay, so let me make sure I'm backtracking good enough. You attempted to charm or intimidate, I believe,
Yes.
said gladiatorial competitor. Charmed or frightened. Okay. And it did not work. And then they held their ground waiting on you to make the first attack.
Well, when that didn't work, let's see if I can find buttons again.
Oh no, buttons.
There we go. I'm going to, let's see what that did first. Never mind. That's just a waste anyway. Alright. I'll count that as a use though. Well, since that's my action, I will use my bonus action to use the dodge effect. Let me remember how that works. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I spend one key point to take the dodge action.
Okay, so no attacks, you're just taking that as your turn.
Yeah, well, the Fey presence uses an action.
Okay,
Attack once I use it.
okay. Okay. So she sees that you are not moving in, and she is going to come at you quickly and try to make a few attacks at you. Actually, hold on a second. I need to make these visible. The first attack was an 18.
Mm, oh.
So does that impose disadvantage when you take the dodge attack?
Yeah, that imposes disadvantage, so you've got to roll twice.
Okay, that's what I thought. So that makes it an 8.
That misses.
And how many attacks does that does the dodge action work for? Just until your next turn?
I believe so, yeah. Can look that up in the computer.
And these are for the second attack. And the third attack. So that's a 15, a 10, and an 8.
Alright. I don't even take stances. I casually dodge left and right on the first two attacks with bare minimum movement. and then I dodged the third attack by flipping backwards onto my hand.
Nice. And how
Dodge,
far
dip,
away
duck,
do you
dive,
move?
and dodge. How far away do I move? What's my speed? Fuck yeah. I can't even use my full speed in this whole arena unless I circle. I guess I will circle a little bit. Well, that last flip I'll go back about 10 feet.
Okay, and then that will provoke an attack of opportunity. That's not what I wanted to do. I'm on the wrong page. Okay. For a 9. Man, that's 2 crits that didn't hit. Okay, and then that will take it to your turn again. So she swings about these 4 times, misses every time, and is just kind of like, you can tell she's a little confused by how all 4 of her attacks missed, but it's not deterring her.
All right. From the position that I was already in with my handstand, I'm going to throw some kicks with my martial arts ability. So, let's see. I'm going to... Let's see, how does this guy work?
Why suddenly goat?
It's my text tone.
All right.
Oh, your text tone is the greatest of all time?
Yes.
So, I'll attack with the first spinning kick is an 18 attack roll. And then I'll attack a second time with my extra attack. And then I'll use my first bonus action to throw a third attack. Let me know if any of those hit.
Okay. Describe to me how you're going to be going about these 3 attacks. Kicks, but how do you approach it?
I was already doing a handstand, so I'm gonna do some capoeira spinning handstand kicks.
Okay, so she sees your first attack and moves with her forearm and moves it down to the side and pushes it down, but losing her momentum, your second attack hits her in the side of the head, and your third attack comes through and catches her square in the chest and knocks her back. So that's 2 hits.
All right. Let's see.
And each hit that was made, you leave a big blue mark, like on her left cheekbone, and a blue mark in the center of her chest.
I'll use my second. So I forgot I had that. I'll use my second bonus action to cast Flurry of Blows. That first one.
Do you have it set to auto roll damage? 1, 2, 3, 4. So I see an attack roll of 23 and then 4 damage rolls.
The first 2 damage rolls were from those attacks that I actually landed, and then like I fucked up and hit the button too many times.
Okay.
So I guess those second 2 are for Flurry of Blows if that hit.
Okay, yeah, the flurry of blows will hit. So how do you do this?
So I do my spinning cartwheel kicks, and then as she as she steps back from the second landing or the third kick that actually landed, I propel myself off of my hands and kick her in the chest and land on top of her with my fist raised in front of her face.
She'll have the breath knocked out of her, look up, and just match. And then she turns to get up knowing that she's lost that round. She's just very narrow-eyed, like very determined.
I reach to pick her up off the ground, or grasp her hand to pick her up off the ground.
She goes to roll over and then notices your hand and gives like a little, a very small smile in the corner of her mouth. And she'll reach up and take you by the wrist and accept your aid, standing up. And then she will promptly make her way back over to the door entrance. And then the announcer will, declare round 2, go. And then you will keep initiative.
Wait, round 2?
Yeah. You won the first round.
He said it was 5 rounds, best of 3.
Yep. 3 hits. Yeah, 3 hits per round. Best 3 out of 5.
Is that how the first match went? That doesn't sound familiar.
Yeah, that's how it went, but that's not how she took it.
So I'm still fighting the same person?
Yep.
Oh, I wish I would have known that. I would have saved some key points. All right. Let's see.
Hold on a second before you do anything. Tarus, can I get a perception roll from you? From your standpoint up in the announcer's booth, you notice a short, plump little man who has a very odd handlebar mustache that you find to be quite familiar in the stands on the same side as Vriamu.
A handlebar mustachioed man.
The mustache is distinctly familiar.
Whoever could that be?
But he does appear distinctly human, yet familiar.
Does it look like Otis?
It kind of looks like Otis, yeah. No, but not as satyry.
What is
Say
that
he's
old,
not the greatest of all time.
What is that goat doing next to Snake? Hmm. All right. I'm assuming I'm not going to have to announce anything else for the immediate future. So, yeah, I'll probably head into the stands real fast and head on over there.
Okay, so as you're moving through the crowd, we're going to do the second round. All right, Anu, here you go.
All right. Let's see.
Go away, phone.
All right. I circle closer to her. How far away is she?
15 feet. It's like 30 feet from wall to wall, except from the doorways, it's 20 feet. So from one wall to another where you guys are standing, it's 15 between you.
So it's an oval. Sweet. Alright, I don't have any like nimble, like cool, snazzy way to get closer to her. So I just circle around to her. Ooh, I could always do that, but that'd be such a waste right now. That'd be so cool. Okay, yeah, I just circle around her and I go to throw a right kick to her face using martial arts, non-lethal. That doesn't hit.
All right, as you come around, she sidesteps low, and your kick comes. First kick comes over her head. It's a very clean miss.
I pivot on that kick and throw a. Where'd the second one come from? Well, I pivot the 21 is what I'm using, I guess. But
Yeah.
I pivot on the first kick and throw a back roundhouse kick.
Is this
Okay.
just your basic attack?
Yeah, attack
So-
and extra attack.
Yeah, you should get attack plus your martial arts feature says whenever you make a basic attack, you can bonus attack to attack again. And then you've got extra attack, which is just whenever you take the attack action, you get an extra attack.
So he gets 3 attacks anyway.
You should have 3 at the cost of your action and bonus.
Okay, cool.
So is this what you do?
Yes. I throw the back roundhouse kick, and depending on whether or not that hits.
Yeah, so your first kick goes cleanly over her head. What are you doing? What's that all about? It's not nice. Oh, I love you too, I guess. Anyway, first kick, clean miss as she ducks under it. You throw this back roundhouse kick, and it catches her clean in the other cheek. So big blue mark on her cheek, and she is able to duck and roll out of the way of your third kick.
Well, after, let me see what the damage on that first one was. Well, it doesn't. The damage rolls don't even matter right now because
Yeah, it's
Doing-
just
we're doing-
non-lethal combat anyway.
yeah.
What? Okay.
I noticed that too.
I missed it. Okay, go ahead, proceed.
I follow that back kick with a punch, which I assume she steps out to avoid, and then I'll use my second bonus action to throw a fourth attack.
Yep.
I really wish somehow I could have been hasted for this fight.
And she spins away from the third attack, and as your fourth one comes through, she will see it at the last second and parry it away with her forearm. And spin, and immediately.
So my fourth attack was going to be an attempt to headbutt.
Okay, so she will parry your face away with her forearm.
Does she not have a weapon?
Oh, she does. She's got the two little wooden spears, but she's just like, moving you out of the way. So she is going to attempt to spin you around by the face and try to come at you in your backside.
Ooh la la.
Once, I assume that's a miss.
Yep.
She's going to follow through with the other hand. And slap you in the ribs with the side of the spear.
I'm gonna cause her to miss that attack, and I duck in a way that looks like I'm pointing my ass at her.
Okay. So this is your reaction, right?
It doesn't count as me using a reaction. It's just my lucky feat.
Oh, okay. I forgot about lucky. And then the third attack will, after the slap in the ribs misses, will attempt to kick you in the posterior. And she does so with great gusto.
I really shouldn't let that land. But it's too funny, so I'm going to.
Okay, roll me some athletics.
All right.
Okay,
Not
so
a bad roll with only a 1 to add to that.
yeah, that's not
sucks
bad at all. So you were able to catch yourself from landing prone, but it pushes you up against the wall. So that's 1 for 1 this round. And then it will be your go again.
I calmly pick myself off the wall, and give her a slightly impressed look, like, okay. So you hit me.
By the way, the crowd is roaring at this point. They're hella excited. The newcomer literally got a sandal rammed up his ass. Okay, go ahead.
What's something ridiculous that I can do?
But pointedly,
Oh, okay. Actually, instead of doing that, as I hit the wall, how did you want me to have hit that wall?
you're coming in at it low. I'm saying it brings you up against the wall. Once you get there, you decide what you do.
Okay, I run up the wall.
And stand there or
No.
do a flip.
Okay. Attempt to do a flip.
You do a kind of lazy flip where you just kind of run up the wall and you don't stick the landing all that well, but you manage to save yourself from cracking your skull against the wall, at least. So, no negative effects. It just kind of looks sloppy.
All right. Would you say that I land facing her or on the other side?
You're still facing the wall. You didn't get fancy enough to do a do a 180 flip in the air with that.
Okay, didn't think so. Let's see. Will try for another capoeira backflip, or let's do a cartwheel kick, since that gets me to her and attacks at the same time.
Okay. So she is not expecting you to come flying at her backwards from the wall, and you manage to get hit with that. Of course, you do.
That's a crit. I should get a really cool hit.
You got a really cool hit. So you tell me how this works out.
Hopefully I kick her hard enough to spin her around. Do the thing. I know, do the thing. There we go. And then I send my second kick at her butt.
Okay. With this kick that you land that spins her around, it spins her completely around, and she goes to try to parry, use that momentum to bring a kick back up at you, but you manage to kick her in the ass as she's spinning around, and that knocks her down.
But
And so, dang it, Devin. So she'll stand up real straight, just put her hands at her sides, and give you a big smile and be like, I guess we're even then. So that's 2 rounds. That was
What?
3 hits. You got the round already.
Was it 3 hits? That was
Yep.
only 2 hits, I thought.
Two
there's
with this-
2 hits in that round.
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Oh yeah, that was 3 rounds. Okay. Well, I bow to her and go back to my corner then.
I feel like Tarus at this point, like he would have like, as he's going through the crowd, he probably would have like glanced down and saw that interaction. And as Annie goes back to his corner, he's gonna shout, "I think she's flirting with you."
and he was just like, flirting. What's that taste like?
Fish if they do it wrong. But
Well, there goes our PG-13 rating, I guess.
welcome back, everybody. Had to make sure YouTube was not okay with this being going up.
She just straight up ignores the comment. But by this time,
I'm used to it.
yeah, Tarus, you make it back to the stands with Claw and Kariki, and Kariki is already like 4 mugs deep. He's had a few.
Constitution check.
He's not here to make it, so he automatically fails. I thought. Wait, I thought you said. I thought you said. Homeboy was over next to Vriamu.
No, the short, pudgy little man is over next to Vriamu across the arena from you.
I thought that's where I was headed.
You were headed to him, or you were headed to? Oh, okay. You're poor short, pudgy man. Never mind. Either way, he's still 4 mugs deep. So you make it over. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Bad DM. So you make it over to him, and he glances up at you real quickly and glances back down at the fight in a very, over the top Otis way. He says, "I don't even think your buddy needs my help."
Therese is going to shrug and say, "Yeah, but kept you from helping the other guy."
He'll, look over his shoulder and start twisting his mustache, and he's like, "I don't know. You don't know how much they paid me." And he'll slap you on the back and just chuckle.
Like, I'm going to stumble forward a little bit and almost bump into the snake person, and just going to stop for a moment and just look at them, and just, it's one of those moments where it's like I'm looking down a little bit, and then I just realize what I'm looking at, and I just slowly start tilting my head up until I finally meet their eyes. Like, oh, well, you're tall. And Tarus is gonna straighten up and reach a hand up towards you and say, "Tarus of the Caldera." Oh, are you muted again?
Yeah, he's typing.
So, Lucas, can we identify the spark in other people? Like, if they possess a spark, can we see it?
Yes, you have an innate sense that it is other sparky people.
Sorry, you caught me literally mid-drink.
Yeah, Tarus is gonna as you go to shake his hand, I'm assuming, he's gonna raise an eyebrow and say, "Not from around here, are you?"
No, and you don't seem to be either. Who are you?
He's like,
I heard your name.
He's just gonna as you preempt what he was about to say, you just see this shit-eating grin spread across his mask.
I heard your name, little man. Who are you?
That's a deep question. I don't know if you can answer.
He's just gonna his chest is gonna puff up a little bit, and he's gonna go, "I am Tarus, the thermal tyrant, the king of conflagration, the baron of burn, the emperor of ignition, the sovereign of smolder, the marquis of melting, the chief of char, Efarazin kindler, he of the highest heat, the foremost of fire and flame." Otis, stop stepping. What are you doing? Get.
And this whole time, Otis is just looking over his shoulder. And he's just his belly laughing, pointing his thumb over, this guy, this guy.
And what is that supposed to be?
That That was.
Are you talking
Just come up
about
with that
Otis?
on
What
top of
Otis?
your- on
Oh.
top of your dome, Devin. Like that was great.
I point at Otis. And who is that supposed to be? Is that some sort of pet of yours?
And like, I think Therese is gonna look at Otis for a second and go, "If I paid him enough, I could probably get him to wear a collar."
Otis doesn't even look. He just puts his right hand over his shoulder and starts, rubbing his fingers together, the money sign.
But yeah, so Therese is gonna he's gonna turn back to Ryamu and say, "So, enjoying the fight so far?"
They both suck.
He's gonna. Oh, continue.
A real warrior could have won this without getting so much touched. But
Therese is gonna glance at the. I'm assuming you have a bow strapped to you.
mhm.
Funny thing is, I could have, but I didn't.
Therese is gonna kind of smile and say, "Yeah, I could probably say the same for me, but they don't allow my kind of fighting yet."
Yeah, they said a bow would be too much of an advantage. And they didn't think that putting sponges on my fangs would be enough protection.
And, he's gonna look at you for a second with a serious face as if trying to imagine that, and he's just gonna start laughing, and he's gonna say, "Can you imagine though if you tried to introduce yourself? Hi, I'm Ryamu of the Naga."
Otis starts belly laughing again.
My jaw unhinges. I could have introduced myself.
So wait, what?
My jaw unhinges. I could have introduced myself properly.
Therese is just gonna "Oh, that's terrifying."
And then I open my mouth really wide to display my fangs, of course.
Therese is gonna nod and just be like, "Yeah, maybe they had a good idea, but you could probably convince. Oh, I should make you meet Zoltan. We could try and convince him to set up some kind of archery tournament or something."
That would be nice. The people here, they think they're warriors, but on my plane, that is all we do, is what we live for the betterments of the gods.
Therese is gonna kind of frown and say, "Around here, most of the gods are dicks." And he's gonna kind of glance down at Rose and say, "Present company maybe excluded?"
Yes, I find this plane very familiar. It is very similar to my own.
Fair enough. But yeah, well, as soon as my my companion down there wins this bout, if he ever stops showboating, then I'll introduce you to Zoltan. We'll see if we can't get something cooking.
I think your friend is going to lose to one of the previous competitors.
Really? Which one?
Give me a second.
Ah, the horny bitch.
Yes. I believe Adira was her name.
The horned heiress or something like that.
I believe she is going to defeat it. She seems a more capable warrior.
Ah, you just haven't seen the boy serious yet. Besides, I'm not sure if Iroas would let someone who worships Mogus win.
He may not have a choice.
Fair enough. I guess we'll have to see.
Indeed. So where do you hail from, little man? I haven't seen your people here.
I love that Tarus is just taking these little man comments.
Like his eyes going to twitch a little bit as you say "little man" again, and he's gonna be like, "First of all, I'll have you know I am above average for my people."
My apologies. You're just... Well, look at me.
Tarus is gonna like, yeah. So like how do bathrooms work with all of that? Like, do you just cram into the cubicle, or
I use a stall. The whole stall.
and Tarus is just gonna like laugh and just like, fair enough. I'm from well, I haven't really found many to have known it, but I'm from a place called Voltana. It's it was a long ways from here. And he's gonna kind of like have this like sad look on his face for a second and say, "But now I'll go where I want, and where I want to go is, I guess, where Afara needs me to go."
I have heard of her, but I've mostly only dealt with the followers of Iroas and Farika. The followers of Farika find me interesting.
And he's gonna like look at you again and say, "They probably find you attractive," is what you mean.
But the tiny snakes, were they not their children?
I'm not sure. I haven't I haven't fleshed up my my Naga knowledge recently.
You, pet man. Do you know? And I point at Otis again.
I need to know the question again. I kind of missed it the first time.
The snakes on the followers of Farika's head, are those not their children?
Snakes on a plane.
Why do you always have to screw me up when I have to do some role play, guys?
Did you say snakes on a planeswalker?
No, I said snakes on a plane, but I meant like planes, as in like Magic the Gathering planes.
Oh God! Roxball monk dies.
The question is, where the rocks died.
Oh God! Oh God! We're just going so deep on this, aren't we?
Monk
Okay.
Monk DYES's.
Okay, so Otis is just gonna look over his shoulder and be like, "What? Medusa's hair? No, that's just a part of her."
Like, Tarus is gonna realize what you had actually asked, and he's just going to start gasping for air, and he's just gonna be like, "Did you think they just butt off of her like
Hair?
asexual? Like they're just splendid?"
The Serpentine do not have hair.
Otis is just gonna shrug and turn
It's for the
around.
lesser races. Well, then maybe I also have to find out what their children and mine would look like.
Tarus is going to nod and say, Give them the strong warriors.
There are many strong warriors in my line. It shall be a glory to pass that forward.
Teresa's just gonna like laugh and just like, I think after I introduce you to the groundskeeper, Zoltan, I think I might have to also introduce you to some of my friends. You'll find they're also experienced travelers.
I see. Good then. Let's make that happen.
And so I'm assuming at this point the next round has already started. So Teresa's gonna turn to try and watch to see what happens next. I believe this is match point.
Yes. Okay, so because you got last hit again, you start the round. Enemies, enemies.
Enemies,
That
enemies.
never gets old. All right. I look at my opponent and half smile for a second, and then I immediately put on my serious face, but not in a serious way. I literally take my hand over my face, and when the hand comes down, my eyes are glowing and I have serious face.
She just kind of locks eyes with you, and after you do this motion, she's going to get down because she knows something's happening. Junker's down, ready for the attack.
Go ahead, girl. Go ahead, get down.
Go ahead, get down. Go ahead, get down. Sorry, now it's stuck in my head.
Gonna ride my horse to the hotel room.
Oh my god.
Gonna ride till I can't no more.
In the hotel room, that has a completely different connotation.
I know, and that's what I thought he was saying for like the first week that I'd heard the song. And I was very confused. Anyway, continue.
Alright. I engage very quickly, but not taking the dash action. Almost as quick as a dash, but not quite a dash. And I thrust my palm at her chest. And I
Getting
use
frisky.
Why you gotta be filling up these chicks? Like, damn, man, it's a fight, not a rape.
She's not a chick, she's a fighter. I don't get it. Why you gotta be sexy?
Why you gotta grab her tits?
Okay, so the first attack palms her left breast.
I use stunning strike when that lands.
I'm sure she's pretty stunned about it.
Yeah, she's pretty stunned about it. All right, what's the save for that?
Constitution.
I mean, what's the number?
It's a
Higher than that, I assume.
I cannot recall if that's what that's against, so we'll just say my spell DC. Is that cool? Which
It works.
It wouldn't be high enough for.
So that means any attacks that you make from here have advantage.
Sweet. So I'll throw out my bonus attack.
All monk key abilities use the save DC formula of 8 plus proficiency plus wisdom. So for you, that's 8 plus 3 plus whatever your wisdom modifier is. What your whiz is.
Yeah, so that's
That
12.
would make it 12.
So I will just take these as 2 separate attacks,
Okay.
and they land anyway. So how do you win?
So I blast her back with that first attack. I guess I don't. Blast her back with the first attack. Then hit her with a kick forward. And then my very last attack, I hit her in the forehead with my finger just hard enough to leave a blue mark.
Did you just finger her? Bruh.
Right after you grabbed her breast? I thought you were honorable, Anu.
Didn't even get consent or anything.
All this titty grabbing and, fingering is going straight to her head, wouldn't you say?
And apparently straight to yours.
Roxfall DM dies. So, yeah, she just takes a step back and, just stands there for a second, and then she'll smile and put her hand out to shake your hand.
I take her hand and I do a very theatrical bow, sweeping an invisible cape. Actually, hold on. Prestidigitation's 10 feet, right?
Make a fucking.
I sweep out what begins to be an invisible cape, but by the end of the sweep, there is an actual cape swept. And I bow to her as I shake her hand down gracefully.
So you'll come up, and she's just got this big smile on her face, and she says, "You bested me handily," and then she'll.
Wah, wah.
Yeah, she'll chuckle and be like, "A little too handedly. Don't let it go to your head." And then she turns and exits the arena.
Wah, wah.
I chuckle and I call back to her as she's walking away, and I was like, "Don't let it go to yours either."
She just kind of waves like over her shoulder, like, yeah, whatever. Sometimes. So the announcer goes to announce the victor, but is Tarus going to allow that to happen?
He's so extra sometimes.
Absolutely. Like he goes to announce the victor, and
It's your fault.
like instead, like Tarus hops up on the banister on the side and just like raises his arms to the side, like mimicking Iroas from earlier, and he's gonna say, "Ladies and gentlemen, cat folks and critters of all kinds." And like one hand is gonna go out towards the cat folk across the way, and the other one is gonna point backwards towards his new snake friend. And he's gonna say, "Did I not promise you a show?" The victor 3-0 is Anumas.
And the crowd gets really riled up at this again. You know, lots of standing applause and everything. And Iroas still sitting in his couchy throne, just looks at you, looks at the crowd, and just begins to slow clap.
Slow clap.
Yeah. And nods.
I look at Iroas and I point at my eyes and I point at his eyes and I sup him and then I turn and walk out.
Supper God. hey, Aroas got a victory. So
I can't handle you guys, for God's sake.
For God's sake.
I'm sorry, that last pun was too well played.
Oh God.
Oh, all right.
Okay, you don't get much of a response from Iroas. It's just, but that it's not necessarily a bad thing. So you make your way back through the gates.
And now Lucas, when I'm not fighting, this counts as short rest, right?
Yes, this will count as a short rest.
Okay. Sweet.
Sweet. Okay. So yeah, at this point, there are only a few more rounds of fighting left to go. And it was explained to you that today is the first round of the brackets. And then tomorrow will be the second round and the finals of the brackets. So everyone who comes into the arena for the rest of this day are going to be their first round. Well, their first fight, I should say. So knowing this and knowing that Animaeus doesn't need to fight again until tomorrow, what do you wish to do?
Oh, turn off my mute for one thing. So yeah, I'm probably gonna be like, awesome. Well, it looks like we've got a bit of a reprieve. Would you like to go and speak with Zoltan now, or? Vri?
Who are you talking to?
Say again.
I was going to say, it looks like we've got a bit of a reprieve between the next rounds. Would you like to go meet Zoltan now?
Yes, let's.
So I think as we're about to pass Otis, Therese is going to stop and say, "Are you going to stick around here? Or are you going to hoof it?"
Otis, finger guns.
Yes.
Oh God. Uh, uh, he says, "I think I'm gonna hang out around here. There's a little bit more I have left to do today."
I'd wish you good luck, but I'm not sure that's what you deal in.
I'd say he makes his own luck.
And we're gonna head off to try and find the, I'm sure, ever busy Zoltan.
Yes, let's.
All right, so Anu, after your fight, you go back in. You get congratulations from the other fighters down there, interested in your absurd fighting style that they've never seen before. And one of the women down there tending the weapons will come up and give you some vinegar to wash the dye off with.
Go.
If only the timing were better and you were like, "Hey, Otis, what are you gonna do?" Okay, so yeah, they give you some other sponges soaked with vinegar to clean the dye off of you with, and allow you to move on. So are you going to rejoin Taurus or sit in the stands and watch? What you gonna do, homie?
I'm gonna go sit in the stands and watch.
Fair enough.
Actually, I'm not gonna sit in the stands and watch. Shouldn't there be an area for the fighters to watch other fighters from?
Is there what?
I said, shouldn't there be an area from the bottom where like the other fighters can watch?
You can watch the other fighters through the gates, like through the doorways, because they close with like a steel grate. Well, I should say brass, because Greek. But yeah, with a brass gate whenever the
Okay,
fight
okay.
starts. So yeah, so you can stay down there with the other fighters and watch and all that. So
Yeah, I'm gonna stay at like the corner of the door there and watch through the gate.
okay. So you watch some more fighters. None of them seem particularly interesting or well versed. Some of them were very good close fights and were interesting to watch, but nobody really stood out to you as someone you really need to watch out for.
Except that first person.
Okay, so we will go back to Taurus and Vriamu.
So, Taurus,
Yeah.
do you think that the Gorgons have the same reciprocal genitalia?
Therese is just gonna stop and just blink and just like, I can honestly say I hadn't thought about it.
Until you brought the question up of mating.
I'm sure they could get you hard if that's what you want.
Well, you see, us Naga have 2 penises.
Therese is gonna nod.
But I know-
compensating.
But I know that many of you lesser races only have a single small penis.
Therese is just gonna like cross his arms and lean back and just be like, "You don't know what race I am." Goblins are known for their reproductive abilities.
Being
Technically,
small
the
does not
sorcerer
make
can
you
have as many
sterile.
penises as he wants.
Anyway,
Like Teru's gonna like continue walking, and he's gonna be like, "I've already said I'm not a small man."
anyway, let us find your friend so that he will let me shoot things.
Terus is gonna laugh and be like, "Please, please refer to him as my friend to his face."
Is he more like your slave?
Terus is just grinning, and he's like, "Oh, you are a treat."
I'm so upset that Honor hasn't met this person.
Are you not in charge of your group? Do you not have power here?
Terus is gonna like think for a moment and be like, "It's more of a democracy."
Communism.
Communism. They
What is
call me
a-
the tyrant, so I mean, I guess.
What is a democracy? Who is your leader then?
Teresa is just gonna smile and say, "A democracy is when everyone thinks they have a vote, but then do what I want anyway."
Ah. So you are in charge.
Teresa is gonna like glance around for a second, notice that none of his friends are with him, and he's gonna say, "Yes, yes, I am."
I can't wait until this comes back to haunt him.
I'm so glad you didn't say come back to bite me.
Hang on.
Is Zoltan here yet?
I'm gonna say with that you just make it into his office.
God,
Give me
that
just a
guy
second,
gets
guys.
me every
Yeah.
time.
Oh god.
No, that's not a god. That's Zoltan. This is it gets confusing sometimes.
Guys,
God.
give me just a second. I gotta go change the baby.
I.
As we mentioned, diapers.
Oh man.
All right, guys. I actually have to step away to help make the beds for the boys and get them ready for bed. So I will be back shortly. I may end up having to move shop, but I won't have to log out or anything.
All right.
Okay.
You know what that smell is? That's the smell of not having children.
Right?
Good decision, past me. Good decision. I have cats instead. It's hard enough.
I've got a roommate.
Yeah, Mr. Boy.
Speaking of,
Roommates are like children sometimes.
I'd agree with that.
I know mine certainly is. I have to clean up after them. Have
Give
to
me like
make
5
sure they
minutes,
get
guys. She made a
out of the
mess.
house on time.
Yeah, take your time. He had to go help make the bed for his boys, so you got some time. I don't know if he actually heard me or not.
Yeah, I didn't realize we lost 2 people instead of 1.
Okay, I'm back.
Welcome back.
Yay!
Jimmy said basically, hang on, guys, give me a few more minutes. She made a mess. So,
Oh, fun. I remember those times.
I will never have to deal with those times.
whew.
Yeah, how old are your boys now, Lucas?
6 and 4.
At least you're past the terrible 2 stage for both of them.
Shit.
Like
Shit. Now I'm in the ferocious 4s.
The Psycho 6s.
The sinister 6s.
Sinister. The sinister 6s.
Actually, my 6-year-old is pretty well behaved. The other one, not so much. I actually need to take him to get psychiatrically evaluated.
Uh-oh.
I think he's got some type of learning disorder because cause and effect just it doesn't compute with him. Because you'd think after you've been bitten by a dog 3 dozen times for doing the same thing that you would stop doing that thing.
So he's mad. That's the very definition of madness. But yeah, at least he's fearless, though.
That's not a good thing. That's not a good thing at all.
I mean, fear is useful, but it also holds us back. So, like,
Yeah, it keeps you from getting bit by the dog because you grab her by the freaking nape of the neck and just squeeze.
oh, that sounds a lot like how my uncle used to be as a kid. Like, we didn't let him play with animals because, like, he didn't understand that he was hurting them.
Mm-hmm.
And like would always hurt them, like pick them up and squeeze them or like throw them around and stuff. I mean that could be so many things just from that like description, but he in particular had Asperger's.
Oh yeah. My neighbor's grandson has Asperger's, among other things.
Yeah, it's got different levels. Like Spencer is a fully functioning human. It's just like now the only way that you can see it is that he gets like way overexcited about certain things, and he's a highly logical person, but his temper is very irrational, and he can never see why he is wrong about when it comes to certain things.
If we've still got a few minutes, well, not even a few minutes, but like a minute, and then I'm gonna run to the kitchen real fast, grab something to drink.
Okay.
Wake up, drink.
Wake up. Grab your brush, put on a little makeup. I've got stuff in there. Shake up. When you leave the kids up on the table. Here we go. I can't do that part. Oh, did you hear Serge Tonkin's cover of the Blue Oyster Cult song Godzilla?
No.
Oh my god, it's so good.
Oh God, I'm gonna have to look that up.
I'm gonna do the same because I want to hear it again. Go away, ad.
By the way, what do you think about the new Godzilla movie?
Oh my god, I am so
Destroy All-
excited.
What's it called? Like, it's supposed to be Godzilla Destroy All Monsters, but that's not what it's called.
It's Godzilla King of the Monsters. I am so excited for this movie.
I bet you are.
I was the guy who legit creamed my pants in the first movie, sitting in the theaters when like his tail started to glow all the way up his spine. It was just like,
They've
I freaked
returned.
out. Yay! We're talking about how we feel about the new Godzilla movie coming out this month.
I hadn't heard of them.
What? Godzilla King of the Monsters.
Oh wait, maybe I have seen that, but it was like I think I saw trailers for like last year, probably sometime, which makes sense.
Yeah. Oh god, the new trailers are great. You actually get to like really see Ghidorah and Mothra and Rodan. Oh, so exciting. So exciting. I'm a huge Godzilla fanboy, like no joke. This makes me all the happy.
All right, guys, I'm back. Sorry about that.
Welcome
Oh.
back.
Apparently, Brian had to go to a family dinner.
Yep. He had to go do a thing. I don't know what happened to Mitchell though.
I like this version much better than the original.
I don't know if I like it much better than the original. I just really enjoy it because it's Surge.
Is that how you pronounce his name? I always say Serge.
Yep, just Surge.
Surge Protector.
Serge Tonkin.
All right. Well, if we are back, then I believe it is time for us to
Meet Zoltan.
for me to introduce you to Zoltan.
So you gonna do it?
Are you talking to me?
Yeah. You gonna
Oh,
do it?
yeah.
You're entering his room now.
I figured he would like say something as he saw us walk in.
Nah, he's quite busy with people running around. Like he doesn't even pay you any mind at first. People running up to him with more books, and he's doing something in another book, and somebody else runs up to him with something to say, and he has his back turned to you, facing his desk.
Therese is gonna like press digitation his voice a little bit louder, and he's just gonna.
And he's gonna look over his shoulder real quick and take the book that he's working on and take a quill out of somebody else's hand and put it in the book and close it. to mark his spot and lay it on the table. And he was like, "That was one hell of a performance that you put on out there. If I knew you weren't from around here, or if I knew you were from around here, I'd offer you the other guy's job."
Therese is going to smile and say, "Well, we all have our talents. Speaking of which, have you met my friend?" And he's going to turn and like motion to Vriamu and say, "Vriamu of the Naga."
And Sultan is going to step forward and he says, "No, I have not met you yet, Friamu. I have heard many things about you. It's not very often that we see, people of your kind around here. I don't even think I've ever heard of a Gorgon entering, the populated realms. Word of your arrival got around the city quite quickly, I should say."
Easy on the your kind, though, man. That's a little racist.
I mean, my character's fairly racist. He's not taking an insult. I am not a Gorgon. I'm a Naga, a male of the species. I am here to inquire about why there is no archery tournament.
And Zoltan will say, "Oh, please, I apologize. It's obvious that I do not know very much about, these things."
Anything?
It's not very nice. And it's funny you should ask that about the archery tournament, or about archery. There are a few people, mostly the citizens, who have come seeking an archery tournament. And, we were discussing that with our people just recently. So, hell, if the wizards can have their own tournament, why can't the archers?
Excellent.
Exactly. And he Taurus is gonna just like puff up his chest and say, "Well, allow me to introduce your first contestant."
Are you a wizard, little man?
Taurus is gonna glance up at you and say, "Semantics, but close enough."
So you are a warrior, not just a leader.
Taurus is just gonna clench his fist, and you're gonna see little gouts of fire coming from each side of them, and he's gonna say, "Well, I'm a pyromaniac."
Zoltan's gonna pick up his hands and be like, "Hey, none of that stuff in here, buddy."
Taurus is gonna look down and see Zoltan protecting the book that he just put the quill into, and Taurus is gonna shake his hand, and the fire's gonna go out, and he's like, "Fine, but soon." Soon. Temple swingers.
Well, excellent. I can respect you. More than just a leader, but a warrior.
Taurus is gonna just light up for a second and goes, "Huh, probably a first."
Your friends do not respect you?
He's like, "I'm sure they do now, but usually I have to show people what I can do before they'll believe me."
Well, most people who boast to be a warrior and attempt to lead people usually end up buried.
Zoltan's going to shift his weight and just kind of nod with pursed lips, like, "Huh, it's an interesting way to look at it."
So yeah, Taurus is gonna nod and say, "Well, have you established any of the rules, or do you have a go-to person or a list we can sign him up with?" Or
No, we haven't gotten anything concrete yet because the Wizards Guild or the one who came to us first, and he'll go over to his desk and pull out literally just like a complete disarrayed stack of like papers in a book with just stuff like falling out of it everywhere. And he's like, slams it on the table. And he's like, you see, I've got a little bit to deal with here. Hef got a little bit over eager, and he just like it's a massive like 4-inch stack of papers.
Teresa is just gonna like put 2 fingers at the center of his forehead and just spread them slowly across the forehead of his mask, like as if he's like rubbing his head, and he's gonna be like, Hef.
But with that being said, we are putting work into it. There are a few citizens here who are working with my people to figure out an exact rule set. But right now, the Wizards Guild is taking priority over that. We only have so many finite resources we can allocate for these types of things.
That is reasonable. Wizards are warriors too, as well.
Like, he's just gonna, like, Tarux is just gonna look, like, he's not gonna break eye contact with Zoltan, and he is just going to grin and be like, I like this one.
Zoltan's just kind of like, it's more of a grunt than a chuckle, but like, I see. Well, once we have a list for the archery and also the spellcasters tournament, we will we will post something. It will make its rounds through the city, I'm sure.
I shall be glad to attend and participate.
Likewise. In the meantime, Vree, why don't we go see how drunk my friends have gotten at this point?
You allow them to drink? You are the most kind slave master.
Tarus is just gonna grin.
Oh, God. The whole Tarus has dug for himself when he comes back to the rest of the party.
But yeah, so as like he's gonna like nod to Zoltan and he's gonna be like, all right, see you later, weird nips. And he's gonna motion for Vree to follow him back to the other side of the stands.
Now that you mention it, what is wrong with that man's nipples? Is he pregnant? Is he with child?
Zoltan's gonna hear every bit of this, and he's just gonna go like, "Nothing wrong with my nipples." As you guys leave the room,
Like Tarus is probably just gonna make something up and just be like, "Well, it all happened when he was a small child. He got into a fist fight and just got slapped. You know, have you ever seen someone get slapped so hard they get cross-eyed? It was like that, but with his nips, and." and the greatest healers that Pyrrhica could muster tried to correct it, but they were too good at their craft, and they ended up drifting further apart than they had started. It's a terrible tragedy that we try not to talk about too much.
I see. I wonder what slapped the man.
Tarus is just gonna like look contemplative for a moment and say, "Some say it was Iroas himself, angry at the way the man runs the tournaments."
I can see that. Not having an archery tournament, he should be ashamed of himself.
And he wears that shame on his chest for all to see.
Oh, Jesus Christ. This is too much. This is too much.
So I just see Zoltan in there, like, and for the rest of the day, people are walking in and out, and he's just doing everything with one hand as the other hand just, like, crosses like in front of his chest.
Oh, it's awesome.
Wait, Phoenician, I have a question. Is there anything wrong with my nips? Oh, God, yes. I can feel one of them staring at me from across the room. What do you mean? You're standing behind me. I know.
It's just always peeking through your armpit. It never stops looking.
It's like
sounded a lot like Roger from American Dad.
it peeks out from under your armpit like a cyclops in a forest.
Oh, God.
I'm fucking killing myself. Oh, God. Oh, God.
You better not. You better not. You remember what happened last time somebody tried to do that?
Oh, God. Oh, God. Okay, so I'm gonna bring Bree over to the drunkards.
Well, not much interaction can happen there because they're not here.
Yeah.
Uh,
Oh, man.
Good. That means they get to be called slaves and they can't even say anything about it.
Well, let me see. Is there anything else you would like to do while you're down in the bottom, Anu? Because I think I might have to call session here now that we can't get nobody back. Hell, it was worth though. Oh, it was so worth. Tyler, you're muted if you're speaking.
I was muted.
So, is there anything else you would like to do while you have the floor?
No. Once the armed combat ends and I've seen all the competition, I'm gonna seek out my friends again.
Okay. So yeah, with you rejoining the rest of everyone and seeing Big Slithery Snake Man, I think we're going to actually call the session there and start with that role play when we come back in 2 weeks.
Sounds fantastic.
Oh, I am looking forward to it.
Stefan, remind me, I think they're all your slaves.
Okay.
Everyone's taking notes.
I'm not. I recorded the session.
Perfect.
Okay. So, Jeremy, how do you
Yeah.
like the group so far?
It's been interesting.
All right, I'm stopping the broadcast.